authority primarily responsible for maintaining rule of law and public security. However, in what appears to be detrimental to the sensitivity of this important state organ, Home Minister Rambahadur Thapa has often been surrounded by individuals abusing his jurisdiction and that of the ministry for vested interests. To make the matter complicated, the Home Minister still appears unaware regarding the scenario. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories of the hour. Family members of Home Minister Thapa found involved in abusing the ministry's jurisdiction. Thapa's younger brother Naresh in judicial custody for alleged nexus with criminal gang. Lawmakers from both the ruling and opposition party demand Health Minister's resignation over the dengue epidemic, urge the government to declare health emergency. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson denies of lying to the Queen over the advice he gave her over the 5-week suspension of Parliament. And Team Nepal goes down fighting against Uzbekistan in the final of the Nadezhda Cup Women Football Tournament held in Kyrgyzstan. Nepal loses 3-2 as Uzbekistan lifts the title. Let us begin with the latest national political updates. The position of the Home Minister is responsible for ensuring rule of law via effective mobilization of security institutions along with the state administration. Home Minister Rambahadur Thapa, however, has been surrounded by individuals of his own secretariat along with family members involved in abusing the position and obstructing state mechanism. His younger brother Naresh Thapa is currently in judicial custody on charges of organized crimes and illicit financial benefits from business owners. The Central Investigation Bureau (CIB) arrested Naresh Thapa last week on allegations of having nexus with a criminal gang led by Samir Man Basneth involved in collecting ransoms from business persons and presently serving sentence for the murder of construction businessman Sharad Gochan. The CIB has also filed a criminal case against Thapa. Home Minister Thapa's younger sibling Naresh Thapa is also accused of taking doctors at the National Trauma Center hostage at the Home Ministry itself after they refused to approve recommendations on patients posing as victims of insurgency. Minister Thapa's son Pratik Thapa has also been accused of exhibiting illicit behavior at a hotel in Pokhara and putting pressure on transfers and promotions of police officers. The incidents like these depict that the Home Minister, who is leading such a sensitive state body himself, has been pulled into debate and disrepute by the individuals close to him or of his family.
त्यसमा कहीं गएर चाहिँ उसलाई बजाउनु पर्छ अरु ढंगले चाहिँ मोलमलाइजा गर्नु पर्छ भन्ने कहीं पनि छैन त्यो तपाईले यो कुरा राम्रोसँग अनुसन्धान गर्नुस् हरेक केसहरुमा चाहिँ यहाँ गृह मन्त्रालयको गृहमन्त्रीको नाम लिएर चाहिँ एकाद हामीले पहिला पनि सुनेका छौं अब बाहिरको मान्छेहरु त्यसप्रति हामीले निर्ममतापूर्वक कुल्चिएका छौं त्यसलाई
सबै कुरा सचिवले सोधेर गर्नु पनि विमति भयो भने अर्को थर्ड पार्टी बोलाएर राय लिन पनि सकिन्छ थर्ड पार्टीसँग कुनै कन्सल्टेसन गर्न सकिन्छ त सचिव बनेकोलाई चाहिँ कसैले विश्वास गरिरहेछ अनि आफ्नै सचिवालयका मान्छेहरु त्यो पनि पहिलाका आफ्नै टिमहरु अब तपाईले त्यसकारण पहिलेदेखि गरिआएको उहाँले त्यसरी नै हो अहिले पनि मैले भने तपाईले जे बिउ रोप्नुभयो त्यही नै आउँछ फल.
The individuals appointed by the Home Minister are prohibited from posing any obstacle to the activities of the ministry and its subordinate authorities along with the government's policy decisions. However, the recent turn of events show that Home Minister Thapa has remained largely unaware about his members of his family and the Secretariat abusing his position and power for vested interests. And moving on, lawmakers from both the ruling and the opposition party have sought the resignation of Health Minister Upendra Yadav. The lawmakers also criticized the ministry over gross negligence to contain the spread of dengue, which has taken epidemic proportion in recent days. Following the criticism, Speaker Krishna Bahadur Mahara has asked the Health Minister to respond to the concerns. Speaking at yesterday's meeting at the House of Representatives, parliamentarians said that, if required, the government needed to declare a health emergency to contain the outbreak. Lawmakers said that it was irresponsible on the part of the Health Minister to stay silent about the spread.
Mantri dengue ko pidit, आँखा विशेषज्ञ चाहिँ सन्दुक रोहित डेंगू को पीड़ित अब हामी मध्ये कतिजना सांसदले डेङ्गु भएपछि सरकारको ध्यान जाने हो सभामुख महोदय। अहिले सभामुख महोदय स्वास्थ्य मन्त्री यहाँ आएर यसको बारेमा सरकारको आधिकारिक धारणा के हो, डेङ्गु के हो, कसरी लाग्छ, उपचार कसरी गर्ने, बच्ने उपाय के हो, मरेकालाई के गर्ने, सरकारले आधिकारिक रूपमा यहाँ धारणा अहिले ल्याइयोस्, होइन भने मेरो विरोध रहनेछ सभामुख महोदय।
According to data shared by the Epidemiology and Disease Control Division on Wednesday, 1,170 people from Kathmandu have been infected by dengue. The virus has killed 6 people so far and infected over 8,500 people across 56 districts.
सरकारका मन्त्री स्वास्थ्यको जिम्मा लिएर बस्नुभएका मन्त्री कहाँ हुनुहुन्छ? अब त प्रधानमन्त्रीजी पनि स्वदेशमा आइसक्नुभयो। यति बेलामा चुप लागेर बसेर खालि रुलिङ गरेर खालि टेबल ठोकेर र सत्तापक्षकै साथीहरूले विरोध जनाएर मात्रै पुग्दैन। 2/3 एब्सोल्युट गभर्नमेन्ट हो यो। यति बेला तपाईहरुले नियन्त्रण गर्न नसकेको, सुशासन दिन नसकेको कसले दिन्छ यति बेला सुशासन?
Meanwhile, the Nepal Red Cross Society has urged people to donate blood to save the lives of those suffering from dengue. The appeal comes after increasing demand of blood units and shrinking repository. The dengue outbreak has made international headlines and forced some countries to issue health warnings to its citizens and restrict travel movements in different parts of Nepal. Bangladesh, the Philippines and Honduras have all sounded national alerts in their countries over the dengue outbreak this year. We'll take a short break here. For more news, do stay with us. The festival of Indra Jatra is being observed in the Kathmandu Valley today with much fervor. The 8-day-long Indra Jatra festival is one of the most popular festivals of the Newar community of the Kathmandu Valley. As per tradition, Head of State President Vidya Devi Bhandari will observe the Indra Jatra festival celebration at Hanuman Dhoka this afternoon. The chariot carrying the living goddess Kumari, followed by 2 other smaller chariots carrying human representations of deities Ganesh and Bhairab, will be taken to different parts of the core area of Kathmandu this afternoon, where crowds will gather to watch and pay homage. On the occasion of the festival, a public holiday has been given to the residents of Kathmandu Valley today. Now, Nepal has agreed to allow the same 36 firms that the government had taken action against in December of 2018 to carry out health checkups of prospective migrant workers. This comes after the joint working team led by the ministry's Joint Secretary Ram Prasad Khimire signed a 10-point agreement yesterday with the representatives of Malaysian government to immediately resume the hiring of labourers for the Malaysian market in Kuala Lumpur. The government had barred Nepalese to work in Malaysia for the past 15 months. More than 100,000 prospective migrant workers have been affected since the government's decision came into effect. Earlier, Labour Minister Gokarna Vishta had barred the firms to carry out health tests. However, the Malaysian government had been saying that only those firms had the required infrastructure to examine health through biometric tests. The Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security has listed 36 existing and 122 new health facilities to conduct health tests. According to Joint Secretary of the Ministry, Ram Prasad Khimire, the Malaysian government has agreed to assess the infrastructure of newly listed health service providers from 1st of November. Employers will still be responsible to pay for the health checkups, costs of visa processing and airfare as per the agreement signed between Nepal and Malaysia in October of 2018. And with that, it's now time for the international update. Boris Johnson has denied lying to the Queen over the advice he gave her over the 5-week suspension of Parliament. The Prime Minister was speaking at Scotland's highest civil court, ruled on Wednesday the shutdown was unlawful. The power to suspend or prorogue Parliament lies with the Queen, who conventionally acts on the advice of the Prime Minister. The current 5-week suspension began in the early hours of Tuesday, and Member of Parliaments are not scheduled to return until 14th of October. The Labour Party has said it is more important than ever that Parliament is recalled after the government published the Yellow Hammer document, an assessment of a reasonable worst-case scenario in the event of a no-deal Brexit. Meanwhile, the EU has said it is willing to revisit the proposal of a Northern Ireland-only backstop to break the Brexit deadlock, despite Prime Minister Johnson ruling this out. And we have more news coming up, but right now it's time for yet another short break. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what is necessary to prevent the projects with public investment from going bankrupt? Your options are A, strict regulation, B, responsible promoters, and C, alert investors. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Family members of Home Minister Thapa found involved in abusing the ministry's jurisdiction. Thapa's younger brother Naresh in judicial custody for alleged nexus with criminal gang. Lawmakers from both the ruling and opposition parties demand Health Minister's resignation over the dengue epidemic, urge the government to declare health emergency. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson denies of lying to the Queen in the advice he gave over the 5-week suspension of Parliament. And Team Nepal goes down fighting against Uzbekistan in the final of Nadezhda Cup Women Football Tournament. Nepal loses 3-2 as Uzbekistan lifts the title. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.